I collected the most important tips to style outfits when you have pale white skin, just as mine. Okay, so at first we want to start off with colors, because that's basically the most important thing to consider. So tip number 1 starts off with neutral colors. So a lot of people think neutral colors is left for people with really pale skin, but actually it is. You just have to think of the most important thing when you choose colors, and that is contrast. So what that means is that colors like beige and lighter tones in neutral colors is probably less for you. They are just too close to the actual skin color. But if you instead take colors with a higher contrast, you can be sure they're actually going to look much better because you can see where the outfit starts and ends. Also, those colors look really well if you especially have some natural colored hair, like blonde, red, for example, or other neutral tones. Tip number 2, let's continue with contrast. The colors before were definitely just too less of a contrast, but there can also be something with too much contrast. The color that I mean is black. It is just too high of a contrast that you're even going to look more pale than you actually are. So the contrast is just really important. It shouldn't be too light with beige and different pastel tones. And then we have the deepest color black, which is going to be a bit too much contrast. You can still wear black and pastel and all those colors if the contrast doesn't fit, but maybe you might want to use it as an accessory instead of the main color in your outfit. Tip number 3, let's actually talk about the colors that work out really well with pale skin. These are colors that are just more deep within their color. That's, for example, royal blue, emerald green, mustard, or deep purple. These actually work out really well because they have a really good amount of contrast that you can use. Also, I forgot to mention that there are some other bad colors, and that are neon tones, because they're just too bright to actually give you a good contrast. Okay, tip number 4. This is actually going to be a topic that no one really notices that much, but I just hate it. Do you know the rule where you're wearing something white and something black? The black looks thinner, whereas white makes it actually look a bit thicker. And that's a proven theory, okay? So we know that's for sure. So people with really white skin color tend to look a bit whiter too. And there's one part from my body where I just noticed it so much, and that's the legs. I'm going to show you what I mean. If I'm wearing, for example, white tights, and on the other hand, I'm wearing like darker tights, you can tell they look different. And that's something I just don't really like when I'm wearing skirts or dresses. So there are usually 2 solutions for me to this. I either wear some high heels as they elongate my body, and this kind of changes the appearance of my legs. And on the other hand, what I usually do more in winter is wearing tights. Mainly with some darker tights, just because to me they make a real big difference. That's a tip that you can't find online if you're looking for it, but that's what I just came across so many times. Tip number 5. Okay, so this is a short tip. Be sure to try on parts with mesh first before you buy them. A lot of clothing that includes skin color mesh is probably not meant for your kind of pale skin tone. So many times when I try something on with mesh, it kind of changes the whole appearance where the mesh part is visible. So be sure to at least try the things on first so that you can see first if the skin color of the mesh is actually kind of working out with the skin color you have. Next tip, and that's going to include colors. So I'm a really big fan of colors if you haven't seen it already in my outfits. So especially deep and intense and bright colors are really good to use when you have pale skin. So we've heard that before, but be sure to not use like too much color, okay? That's really important. So I usually like to have, for example, 1 or 2 main colors in my outfit, and then continue with adding some neutral colors like black, white, and some other neutral tones. But if you actually start using so many bright colors, then you're probably not going to look that fashionable, but you're probably more going to look like a clown. Clowns have a lot of colors, they have white skin, so that's just something I like to orientate myself, but not like too much of an overdose of colors. And the last and final tip, and to be honest, that's probably the most important one, and that is confidence. And that is a tip for everyone, not just people with pale skin, because you can actually wear every color, every pastel tone, black, and everything you want if you just show you have the confidence to do so. So you can break every rule of the ones I said before, but the confidence is just the key to all of them. Little story, when I was younger, I really liked wearing like dresses and shorts, but I didn't want to that often because every time when I was in a public area, people were looking at my legs all the time, okay? And they were then like, you know, talking to them, look how white she is.
Oh my gosh, no one can be that white. And
to be honest, when I was younger, that didn't felt that great. So I was more like, okay, then I'm wearing longer pants or use some suntan lotion. I tried a lot of things just because I didn't like the thought of a lot of people staring at me because I was that pale. Today that totally changed because I now really have the confidence to walk in a public area with a short mini dress, some high heels, and make people watch me. So that's not a problem at all anymore because now I actually like the attention that I'm getting. When I was younger, I didn't really like it. And I don't want anyone to lose their interest in fashion because it makes other people stare or that you're getting a lot of attention. That's just something you kind of have to get used to. So be sure to work on your confidence because that's just the part that makes it most fun to wear clothing. If you can show them off and show everyone what you're wearing. So I hope those tips kind of helped you with some decisions you might have, or if you're just watching it for entertainment, that's fine with me too. And now if you need some outfit inspirations, take a look at one of my other lookbooks.